Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl nurse Abina, a Ghanaian trained psychiatric nurse practicing in the Republic of Ireland. Guys, asking me how much I spent on my relocation to the Republic of Ireland as a registered nurse, it's something I think it won't be feasible because you may not come with the employer that brought me, and who knows, you may get an employer who says pay the expenses and get them reimbursed, or you are likely to get an employer who is going to actually pay the expenses along the line. You know, this relocation package has two terms and conditions, and I don't know which one that you are likely to get. So I think that it is best to have a fair idea on both sides how much you are likely, at least a rough estimate, to help you in your financial preparation during for your relocation. I think that will be best. What do you think? We can actually have a rough estimate about how much you're likely to spend if the employer is paying the expenses along the process, or if the employer says pre-finance and we will get it reimbursed. So these are the two ways. So let's just have a rough estimate of how much you are likely to spend. I think that will help in your financial preparation towards your relocation. Okay. Obviously, you are not going to get an employer at the early stage of the process. So it means that there are one or two things that you actually have to prepare financially for it. And that is taking the cost of the IELTS or OET. You need to bear that cost because there is no employer for you at that stage giving you the sponsorship. So you definitely have to prepare financially for your IELTS or OET. And I don't know which country you are watching me from, but in the euros, IELTS is likely to be around 260 euros. 260 euros, so you can actually convert it in your currency where you are. And the OET is also likely to be about 420 euros. So convert it in your currency. Let's do the calculations together. So now you have a rough estimate or a rough idea about the cost of IELTS or OET. Now the next finances you need to prepare for is the money for your NMBR recognition, which is 350 euros. This one too, at this stage, you may not have any employer, so automatically you need to pay this money. So now the next expenses is 350 euros for the recognition fee. Then expenses to prepare for is the atypical working scheme application fee, and that also costs 250 euros. So you need to prepare for that as well. If your employer says you should bear the cost and it will be reimbursed to you, you need to prepare for all these expenses. So 250 euros for atypical working scheme application. And then you move on to your RCSI. If you are coming to take the OSCE, the cost of the OSCE is 2,800 euros. If your employer says pre-finance, then you have to pay for that fees as well. Now it gets to visa application. Visa may also be less or more, but approximately 140 euros. So you plan for that as well. And then you move on to your tickets. Your flights is likely to be around 600 euros. That also depends on the airline that you are going to board. So you need to plan well. So that is also another expenses. And then the other thing you need to look at is the accommodation. If the employer says pre-finance, so you need to look for accommodation yourself. And looking for accommodation or the cost of accommodation in Ireland also has to do with where you are going. So you can budget about 800 to 1,000 euros per month. Yes. You also need to bear in mind that these expenses does not include your pocket money. At least you're coming somewhere for the first time, you don't know anybody, you need to keep some money on you. You might not know. So it's something you need to factor into the expenses as well. So this is a rough estimate if your employer says pre-finance. So you are likely to hit around 5,000 to 6,000 euros. I don't know how much it will be in your currency, but you can actually convert it. Let me know where you're watching me from, and then how much it's likely to be in your currency. Let me know in the comment section. We can now look at the other aspect. If the employer is actually paying for the expenses along the process, that is very good, because you end up paying for just a little items. So most especially the IELTS or OET, you pay for it yourself, you pay the NMBI yourself. The rest of the items the employer is going to finance along the line. And then when you get to the visa stage, I think the visa payment is in two parts: the online and then the physical aspect. That is depending on the country where you find yourself. So let me use Ghana as a typical example, because that's where I come from. So Ghana, we do not have an Irish embassy in the country. So what we do is Ireland process their visas through VFS Global. So your employer will make the online application, pays on your behalf, and then you submit the documents to VFS. And when you get to VFS, you pay another amount of money over the that one. Your employer do not come in. So when even if your employer pays the visa application for you and you are going to submit your document, that is, if you are a nurse coming from Ghana, you need to prepare for this. So when you're going to VFS, you need to go with some amount of money. It's likely to be around 100 euros or more. So you go with that money. When you submit your documents, you pay that money at VFS office, and you pay physical cash. So you need to prepare for that as well. So basically, these are the few items you have to pay when your employer is actually financing or paying for the expenses along the line. It's good. Yeah. Are you still doing the calculations? Let me just hear from you in the comments section. Which country are you, and then what is your currency? How much have you been able to calculate so far? Just let me hear from you in the comments section. But at least now you have a rough idea of how much you're likely to spend financially on the relocation, if the employer is financing or if the employer says finance and get it reimbursed. So this is the relocation package, the financial aspect of it when you are relocating to the Republic of Ireland. I hope it helps you in your preparation, because you need to prepare financially as well. As far as you want to migrate, you need to prepare financially as well. So I believe this video will guide you in your preparation. If you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up in the comment section for me, and keep subscribing, like, comment and share. At least now you have a clue of the financial aspect of relocating to the Republic of Ireland as a registered nurse. I hope this video guides you. See you in my next video. Bye bye.